Like water in the desert is tranquility to the soul, an idyllic phrase from the Oasis of Tranquility. This inviting sentiment sets the path of today's tale.
What a captivating image that creates. Imagine being in a scorching desert longing for an oasis. That longing reflects our yearning for inner peace.
Exactly, Mia. The physical thirst symbolizes our emotional and spiritual thirst. Have you ever felt that way?
Certainly, the hustle of life often leaves me thirsting for tranquility, just like that nomadic traveler in the vast desert.
I can see how the quest for this oasis, this sacred sanctuary, mirrors my own journey to regain control of my life. Chasing after a peace that seems out of reach is familiar territory.
See, the power of this tale isn't just in the imagery, but the relatability. It extends an invitation into an introspective journey that I believe all of us have embarked on at one point or another.
Yeah, and it's not always an easy journey. It can be as treacherous and desolate as a desert trek. But perhaps that's what makes the discovery of tranquility so rewarding.
Indeed, the more formidable the journey, the sweeter the oasis. But you know, the path to tranquility isn't just about destination. It involves the continuous process of self-discovery and acceptance. That's the nomad's journey. And that's our journey too, as we recollect and resonate with his search for inner peace tonight. Let's delve into the life of our nomadic traveler before he embarked on this search for the oasis of tranquility. It wasn't all sunshine and roses.
I can only imagine a nomad's life out in the vast, arid desert. It must have been grueling at times.
Certainly. The desert is no walk in the park. It's an unforgiving environment, harsh and relentless, dealing with scorching temperatures in the day and freezing cold at night. Lack of water and food sources, not to mention the constant risks of sandstorms and predatory animals.
Kinda sounds like a metaphor for life at its toughest times, doesn't it? The scorching heat could symbolize periods of intense pressure, and the freezing cold, times of desolation and loneliness.
Quite right, Suyan. And just like life's challenges, the desert doesn't play favorites. It offers no relief, makes no exceptions. Yet, our nomad persisted, using these challenges as stepping stones, turning adversity into resilience.
But what was his driving force? What made him persist amid such trials?
As with many of us, the driving force behind his resilience was perhaps his longing, a thirst for sanctuary, for tranquility in the desert of hardships. He realized that the quest for peace wasn't about evading struggles, but about facing them head-on.
So, it's the struggles that led him to the oasis. His grit brought him closer to tranquility.
Yes, Suyan. And isn't that what life's about? Focusing on the oasis in the horizon, no matter the hardships? Merely surviving isn't enough. We have to traverse our personal deserts, overcome our struggles, and amidst it all, discover our oasis, our tranquility.
On a brighter note, during his endless journey, our nomad wasn't entirely alone. Locals, as infrequent as they were amidst the sea of sand, became his beacon of hope, symbols of human resilience and harmony. Isn't it something, Victoria, that even in the most adverse conditions you find people extending their hands?
That's one of the beautiful mysteries of life, Mia. We form connections even in the most unlikely situations.
Indeed. Just like the traveler, we too may find ourselves grappling with the relentless desert of daily routines. But along the way, we encounter running into our own locals, our support systems. They could be friends, family, therapists, colleagues, or sometimes even strangers.
We don't have to face our battles all by ourselves. Support is essential in any journey, be it seeking tranquility or dealing with life's endless hurdles.
I remember once when I was going through a particularly tough phase juggling work and personal life, a colleague of mine suggested yoga, reminding me to take time for myself. And Suyan, it was a turning point for me, resonating with your own experience in recovery.
Ah, Mia, that rings so true. My support system, too, played a vital role. But where do you think this locals analogy applies in our quest for tranquility?
In our journeys, our locals are those who encourage us, push us towards growth, make sure we stay hydrated in the desert of life. It could be someone suggesting a mindfulness app, a book, or simply lending an ear when we most need it. They are the hands that steadied us, the shoulders that carried us, the smiles that assured us during our journey towards tranquility.
You mentioned, Victoria, chaos in daily routines, and Mia, you talked about locals, our support systems. But let's delve into the nomad's turbulence. Imagine a never-ending desert. Its vastness, isolation, and unyielding force are much like addiction. It can feel as if it could consume you. You battle isolation, despair, and a sense of being lost. What do you think, Victoria?
That's not something I've experienced personally, Suyeon. But from what you're describing, it sounds brutally relentless, similar to what our nomad might be feeling wandering through the desert.
Indeed, Victoria. When you're so deep into your inner desert, you don't expect a lush oasis to spontaneously arise. It wasn't until I stumbled across a serendipitous oasis, the refuge of therapy and the power of acceptance, that I realized recovery wasn't merely a mirage, but a reachable reality.
That imagery, Suyeon, of therapy as an oasis. It helps illustrate the nomad's struggle when constantly confronted by an unforgiving desert offering no respite. The oasis, in his case, might seem elusive, giving rise to frustration, mirroring your own inner struggles.
Quite so, Mia. The pursuit of tranquility, akin to finding that elusive oasis, is laden with heartache, confusion, and sometimes despair. And yet, it's these very struggles that shape us, define our journey. But isn't it fascinating that every once in a while, a glimmer of hope, much like a distant oasis, keeps us going?
The oasis of tranquility. Throughout our chat, we've heard this phrase repeatedly. But wait, let's untangle the literal threads and focus on what it symbolizes. An oasis, in literal terms, is a fertile spot in the desert where water is found. But when we scratch beneath the surface, we unravel a more profound meaning, or, shall I say, symbolism. An oasis can represent tranquility, a refuge, a sanctuary.
Sanctuary. I like that. It denotes a safe place, somewhere you are free from anxieties and fear. In your perspective, Victoria, is this sanctuary external or internal?
That's an interesting thought, Suyeon. A sanctuary can exist both externally and internally. Physically, it could be a place or a situation that brings us peace, a bookstore or a coffee shop for some, or even the calm found in the precision of a yoga pose. But our internal sanctuary holds a greater significance. It's our inner oasis.
So like the calm amidst chaos?
Exactly, Mia. It's our state of peace within the hurly-burly of our chaotic lives. It's the stillness within the storm, that serene garden inside us that we retreat to when external pressures mount. This inner oasis, as we like to think about it, symbolizes tranquility that's attainable despite existing circumstances.
Victoria, Suyeon, how often do you feel like you're lost, wandering a metaphorical desert in search of an oasis of tranquility?
More often than I'd like, Mia, I must admit.
It's a universal experience, Mia, all too common.
Just as our nomadic traveler was navigating the physical desert, we navigate the metaphorical desert of life. Our oasis, our peace, often feels far off in the distance, a mere mirage. But just like our nomad, there are lessons we can glean from the journey.
The journey is where the true discovery happens, isn't it?
Absolutely, Victoria. Although the destination, the oasis, becomes the focus, it's the journey, fraught with adversities and illuminations, that truly prompts us toward introspection. Struggling with the metaphorical sand dunes of life makes us question our philosophies, understand our resilience, and explore our capabilities.
That ties in well with my recovery journey, Mia. It isn't the end goal of sobriety alone that's important. It's the introspection, the course correction, and the self-discovery along the way.
Exactly, Suyeon. The desert is expansive, bleak, and intimidating, much like certain phases of our lives. The stress of a job, the loneliness of the soul, the overwhelming, incessant nature of our worries. They all accumulate into our metaphorical deserts. But when we begin to see them as avenues for self-discovery and introspection, as our nomad did, the journey becomes less burdensome. Our oasis no longer seems an unreachable dream, but a reality that we are drawing closer to with every mindful step we take. And that is how we begin to navigate life's deserts.
Thinking about the nomad's journey and drawing connections to our lives, I remember the oasis, how it symbolized the tranquility we often long for. But how do we find this inner peace amidst our modern, chaotic lives? Well, I think a great approach could be focusing on stress management techniques that can help us get closer to creating our own oasis, our peace, our break from the never-ending rush.
Intriguing, Victoria. You definitely have piqued my curiosity. Can you enlighten us on some of those stress management techniques?
Absolutely, Mia. First, it's crucial to understand that stress is a natural response of our bodies to challenging situations. It's something that we all undergo from time to time. Therefore, the trick lies in effectively dealing with it rather than trying to avoid it. One technique I swear by is mindful breathing. As simple as it sounds, pausing for a few moments and focusing on your breath can do wonders. It allows you to anchor yourself, to find calm amidst the storm. Another strategy could be to practice regular physical exercise. I find that a morning jog or even a short dance routine not only helps to clear my mind, but also leaves me feeling invigorated.
What if you're someone like me, battling emotions that are far more intense than just stress? Can these techniques still work?
Suyeon, I believe they can certainly help. However, combined with professional guidance, these techniques may prove even more effective. In the end, it all boils down to mindfulness. By learning to live in the present moment, we manage to balance our professional and personal lives, very much like savoring the peace we find in our oasis.
Building on what Victoria shared about stress management, it's significant to delve into the scientific aspect of tranquility. The American Psychological Association considers peaceful happiness as one of the pillars of mental health. It's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about laying a strong foundational ground for the future, improving our resilience against stress, and empowering the way we perceive and navigate through life.
So it's kind of rewiring our brain? Like if we cultivate tranquility, the way we handle future stressors could also change for the better.
Exactly, Victoria. That's a great way to put it. A study from Harvard Medical School dove into this very concept. Known as neuroplasticity, our brain's ability to adapt based on experiences. Maintaining a tranquil mind can eventually teach our brain to nullify the variables that lead to stress.
Sounds like a worthy endeavor. Makes the struggle seem worth it.
Absolutely, Suyeon. And it's not just mental health benefits. The International Journal of Yoga stated that tranquility can have a direct positive impact on our physical health. Heart health, blood pressure, and even your sleep can improve by adopting practices that foster a tranquil mind.
Well, that's quite an incentive to work toward tranquility.
Certainly, Victoria. And relating that to my personal experience, these small moments of tranquility have helped me greatly. Especially in this bustling city, they serve as my oasis.
Incorporating small efforts to create our own oases. I'd love to share a few meditation practices that can help cultivate inner peace. One technique aligning with our Nomad's Quest is called loving kindness meditation, or metta bhavana, originating from Buddhism. It's all about focusing on kindness, love, and warmth for yourself, and sending it out to others, much like how the nomad sought warmth in the cold desert night.
That sounds such a pleasant way to start or end a day. Do we need any prerequisites or specific surroundings for it?
Great question, Mia. You can simply sit comfortably, close your eyes, and meditate on loving phrases such as, may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy. Begin directing these phrases toward yourself, and gradually expand it outwards to loved ones, neutral individuals, and even people you find challenging. Just imagine them finding their oasis.
I like that idea, especially incorporating people we find difficult. That seems like extending a bridge of understanding. That really echoes with the nomad's solitary journey. Any other practices you can share, Victoria?
Absolutely, Suyeon. Another vivid practice is Kundalini Yoga, which blends movement, breathing exercises, and mantra chanting to awaken your spiritual energy. This can add a unique flavor to your usual routines. Imagine sitting cross-legged, engaging in breath of fire, an invigorating breathing technique, and chanting mantras, infusing your mind with a sense of purpose and drive, just as our nomad is driven by his purpose to find the oasis.
That would be quite an experience. I'll surely give these practices a try, and let's not forget, self-care routines like these don't have to be hour-long endeavors. Even small 5 to 10 minute practices can make a significant difference.
Exactly, Mia. Remember, it's not about the duration, but about being present in that moment, whether you're taking a mindful walk in nature or enclosed in your city apartment. And Suyeon, how about you? Do you have any quick tips to adapt these practices in daily routine?
Absolutely, Victoria. For me as a recovering addict, controlled breathing exercises really helped, be it during my commute or right before sleep. Just taking a few deep breaths and releasing slowly, connecting with your own rhythm. It's like creating my own oasis.
So relatable, Suyeon. Everyone, please remember, your oasis isn't lost somewhere out there, it's within you, waiting to be discovered. Your journey towards it can be as simple as a few mindful practices. We've shared various techniques, practices, and strategies to uncover inner peace. But let's not forget, each of our journeys towards tranquility is deeply personal and magistrates to our own realities. Speaking of journeys, I remember when I first started noticing my mental health struggles during my university. It was a time of major transitions with immense academic, social, and personal pressure. I needed tranquility now more than ever, so I confided in my friends, sought professional help, and pursued mindfulness practices.
I see myself in you, Victoria. We're often so engrossed in the hustle that we forget to just stop and listen to our needs. I've always been a go-getter, always targeting the next promotion, moving from one project to another. Now, looking back, I think of all those missed moments of stillness amid the chaos. Gradually, I learned to slow down, to take some time for myself by reading or doing yoga. It's my little oasis of tranquility.
That's so relatable, Mia. I remember navigating the unending storms of my addiction. My oasis then was far from sight, but I held on to the hope of sobriety, yearning for my own oasis of tranquility. Today, as I work towards recovery, I discover that my oasis wasn't an end goal but the journey itself, learning self-love and acceptance. Every day, I carve out time for graffiti art or music. Those little moments anchored my pursuit for inner peace.
I love how we each have our unique oases, mirroring our journey towards self-acceptance and peace. It's a consistent reminder to stay connected with our inner selves, to remain patient with our progress, and to embrace each day as another step towards our oasis. We've all shared our stories, and our oases look very different. Each journey was unique, full of stumbling blocks and teachable moments. Now, I wish to turn the mirror to you.
Yes, think about it. If you were to embark on a journey for your sacred oasis of tranquility, what would it be like? What would be the challenges you'd face, the victories you'd earn?
And remember, your oasis isn't a destination. It's a state of mind. Tranquility comes from acceptance, patience, and compassion for yourself during the journey. Also, don't avoid reflecting on the paths walked and hurdles crossed so far. It's all part of shaping your personal oasis of tranquility.
It's fascinating to ponder these aspects and make the conscious decision to work towards that calm amidst chaos. Keep in mind, just like the desert landscapes were deceptive, our paths might be filled with illusions too.
How true is that? At times, we may set unrealistic expectations, chase after mirages before realizing the true oasis is within us.
Absolutely, the exploration isn't just an external journey, but a scrutinizing journey within, understanding, interpreting, and making peace with our own complexities.
Indeed, how your oasis of tranquility appears to you depends on your individual perception. Perhaps your oasis is a sparkling stream of self-contentment, a meadow of mindfulness, or a sanctuary of self-compassion.
Now let's take a step back in time, to the era of ancient civilizations. You might be surprised to learn that the quest for tranquility was as valued then as it is today.
Really? I always had the impression that life in ancient times was far more chaotic and turbulent.
True, they faced different challenges and their lifestyles were certainly different from ours. But much like us, they sought tranquility.
That's fascinating. Can you tell us more about how they pursued this state of tranquility?
Certainly, in ancient India, for example, seeking tranquility was a vital part of life. They practiced rituals like yoga and meditation. Buddhism and Hinduism both advocate for embracing stillness and silence to reach a state of inner peace.
So they had their own methods of navigating the desert, much like our nomadic traveler from today's tale?
Exactly, Mia. And it wasn't just in India. Even the Stoic philosophers in ancient Greece practiced equanimity, a state of psychological stability and composure which they achieved by embracing acceptance. The desire for tranquility was universal, and cultures found their unique pathways to reach it.
Interesting how we, in our digital age, are rediscovering and adopting these same practices now.
True, Victoria. The wisdom from the past can definitely guide us on our journey towards finding our own oasis. All we need is a bit of patience, acceptance, and the will to find our own inner peace.
One of the charms of literature and cinema is they often present us the journey to inner peace in such beautiful and relatable ways. Can you both think of any examples?
Absolutely, Mia. I loved how in Eat, Pray, Love, the protagonist Elizabeth embarks on a journey of self-discovery across 3 countries. She finally finds her inner peace in Bali, consuming its culture, peace, and tranquil lifestyle.
Yes, that's a brilliant example, Victoria. It's a temple for modern women who seek growth amid personal turmoil.
The first thing that came to my mind is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. The shepherd's journey in discovering his personal legend is a fantastic representation of our nomadic traveler's pursuit of the oasis.
The Alchemist is such a classic, Suyeon. It beautifully encapsulates how our very pursuit of dreams serve as pathways to inner peace.
And moving on to films, Into the Wild resonates profoundly. It's about the odyssey of a man breaking free from societal expectations and discovering his meaning of life in the wilderness. Doesn't it sound like our solitary nomadic traveler?
Absolutely, Mia. It's about connecting to the core of humanity and finding true solace within ourselves. A touching portrayal of the triumph in solitude, much like our nomadic traveler's adventure.
Movies like Wild, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, The Way, or even animated ones like Kung Fu Panda, they all explore the beauty in the struggle for harmony and self-acceptance.
Let's not forget The Shawshank Redemption. It's a powerful piece of cinema that, across its many threads, emphasizes the capacity of hope and resilience to build an oasis of tranquility in the harshest conditions.
Exactly, Mia. These myriad narratives from books and films enable us to understand that each person's journey to inner peace is unique, yet universally relatable, just as we try to realize in our own lives and through our podcast.
What a journey this episode has been, wouldn't you agree, ladies?
It indeed has been quite a voyage, Victoria.
Certainly, Victoria. This episode truly mirrored my recovery journey, too.
In today's episode, we journeyed with a nomadic traveler in search of a symbolic oasis, drawing parallels between his quest with our individual tribulations. We discussed the symbol of oasis being not a physical manifestation, but an internal state of tranquility.
Indeed, Victoria. We highlighted the significance of self-reflection, patience, and acceptance on this path to inner peace, discussing the traveler's interactions with helpful locals along the way. Stress management techniques for finding our own oases in the hustle of modern life were addressed, too.
Then we brought in some scientific perspectives, connecting mental health benefits with tranquility. We even dove into ancient wisdom on peace and tranquility.
Yes, it was fascinating to bring together bygone eras and modern science. The personal anecdotes we shared brought the narrative home, making it more relatable for our listeners.
By discussing literature and cinema references, we managed to provide additional resources for our listeners to further explore on their own.
Our intention was to help nurture an oasis of tranquility within every listener, cultivating patience, acceptance, and tranquility in the face of daily chaos.
As we near the end of this tranquil journey, let's take this moment to really sink into the peace we've found within ourselves. I want to guide you through a short, soothing meditation. Start by closing your eyes. Breathe in the fresh air. Breathe out your stress, your worries. Envision your sanctuary, your oasis of tranquility. Can you see it? Feel its peace washing over you. Hold on to this peaceful feeling. Remember, this oasis is always within you. Now slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Relish in the peace you've founded within.
Thank you, Mia. That was truly a peaceful moment, one that our listeners can take along even after the podcast ends. We've reached the end of this episode, but fear not, a new adventure awaits us next time. Can you imagine a world where love's language is as diverse as our tongues, yet common as our heartbeat? Get ready to dive deeper into the intricacies of human connections as we navigate through the city of 1,000 tongues and one heartbeat. Till then, keep finding your oasis and remember to let your inner peace be your guiding light. Good night, tranquil hearts.